Welcome back to the Mention It All Again pod. I am one half of your favorite co-hosts. I'm Casey, and I'm here with the divalicious Blake. Hi, Blake.
Who said that? Now,
Who
who
said
said that? Who was saying that, Casey?
that?
Welcome back, everyone. We are so excited to be picking back up where we left off with The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 9. This is part 2. I believe we're picking up from episode 12.
12.
Okay, yes. 12.
And if
through
you
the
haven't,
reunion.
go back and stream our part 1 episode where we discuss the first half of the season, the beginning through Ep 11 to get the setup and what brought us here. And we'll do a couple reminders, but not all, because you have to go stream part 1.
That episode was called He Said He Was Gonna Blow You the Fuck Up. And it was
That's right.
Like 3 weeks ago. You'll have to go check. It's not our job to educate you on which episodes you need to stream. Trust and believe there aren't that many. You can figure it out. So Casey, why don't you let us remind the listener where we left off?
Yes. So again, the detailed version, the full Spark Notes, go find it yourself. But to catch you up, the divisions among the group right now are pretty firmly that Portia and Phaedra are a united duo. They're frickin' frack, and they have each other's backs. And Kandi and Kenya are pretty tightly bound as well. And I would say Cynthia's on the Kandi Kenya team. We've even sort of got Shamia on the Kandi Kenya Cynthia team. We've got Sheree playing interference in between the two teams. But we kind of left off in the first half with some rumors emerging regarding lots of sexual encounters on many different people's behalf, but one of the larger ones being that Phaedra said that Shamia is having sex with Kandi and Todd. So, important stuff there.
Yeah.
But Portia's been kind of under fire a little bit more than Phaedra at like this midpoint, and Phaedra actually has a good relationship with Kenya briefly here. So she tries to like tell Kenya to back off of Portia because Portia's in anger management. She's trying to be a better Portia, and Phaedra feels that Kenya has been provoking Portia to try to get another reaction out of her to prove like, see, it's not working. Like, here you go. And Phaedra tells Kenya they're like in like a Bass Pro Shop because they're going glamping is our trip in the beginning half of this second half. But they're in like a Bass Pro Shop, and Phaedra's like, you are attacking Portia, Kenya. Like, you're really attacking her. And Kenya in the middle of the store is like, please don't use the word attack. Please don't use the word attack. That literally makes me want to hang myself with one of these ropes in here. Like,
Mind you, we left off at a dinner where she asked Portia about her anger management. Portia didn't like the way that she asked her. She like tried to leave the dinner, and Kenya chased her. Like, you
and
are
said, "Am I triggering
her.
you? Am I triggering you?"
That seems like the definition of attack, if you ask me. Maybe they have like a gif of that in the dictionary by the word attack. Like, sorry, you're trying to, like you said, trigger her to respond, to react, to be like anger management. What?
Right. And, Kenya herself has a lot of anger around her because she's also in this terrible relationship, sort of. They're like sort of broken up, sort of separated, but like on and off basically with this guy, Matt. And he has been like very aggressive, violent, both like, you know, to her property, sort of to her, like definitely like too far with her.
Yeah, he's breaking her like windows at her house and shit. Like
I think like throwing some stuff at her, like definitely making threats, like, so it's tough. But there's a scene where Cynthia meets with him because at this point, like he and Kenya like can't even speak to each other because it gets so aggressive. So Cynthia has like a one-on-one on camera with the psychotic boyfriend, which I just feel like, what are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing? And she's like, I'll take some messages from you back to Kenya. And she does this. Like, she like relays messages back and forth. And Kenya is like, this is not like fair. Like, he's abusive. Like, I shouldn't have to be like taking feedback from him right now. And Cynthia's like, well, you do provoke him, Kenya. Like, you have to like own up to it. Like, she sort of like defends him.
What?
And it's really strange. But at this point, episode 12, 13, 14, Kenya's pretty much done with him. Like, we have a couple more meetings of them, like, still, like, kind of hashing out the end of their relationship. But she even says here, like, you know, like, this man is abusing me. Like, he's got me in a cycle of abuse. It's not something, like, that I'm really wanting to entertain anymore. And we'll get to a final closing point with him, but it's a mess.
It's a very low place for Kenya to be, I feel, because this man is how old? Like 32 or something? Like, he's very much her junior. And she, you know, Kenya just is a very powerful, independent woman. Like, I feel like you don't really see much of her with a man other than obviously later when she gets married. But like, typically, like, she has Walter, but her relationships are usually not like defining of her, like, as a woman. So it's like really crazy to see her be bogged so down by this like just absolute loser who's objectively like abusive to her. It's like, girl, stand up. Like,
he's such a loser. They're always like, a lot of them are with losers at a lot of times, but right now especially. And you know, kind of tying us back into the rumors of really like it's all lesbian allegations. It's all lesbiallegations. Like, combine it.
lesbigations.
Right, like there's a lot going on, but we get to the bottom of some of it when Kandi throws a party for Shamia. I think it's an engagement party. Honestly, like, I tune out when Shamia is mentioned, so I don't actually know what the party is for. It's not really important, but it's a big deal to Shamia, whatever it is. And Portia doesn't come because she is like not having good vibes with Kenya, sort of with Kandi because of that fight with Kenya. Kandi was a little bit on Kenya's side at like the anger management gate luncheon. So Portia does not attend. And this is devastating to Shamia. She later tells Portia that it's devastating. And she like starts crying at the event when they tell her that Portia's not coming. And, you know, like, okay, fine. Like, get over it. Move on. But when Portia's not there, they get into discussing the rumors that were brought up against Shamia. And, you know, our gorgeous Sheree, like our gorgeous bone carrier Sheree, always hardworking, always getting the job done. She has a confessional and she goes, this isn't the right time to bring up what Phaedra said. I think just let's let it rest for tonight. Next clip is Sheree with the whole group being like, so I heard something crazy. Like, I heard something crazy about you, Shamia. And she brings up not that Shamia is having sex with Kandi and Todd, but says, Phaedra said that you sleep with everyone's husbands, which was said at the same lunch where Phaedra says that she's sleeping with Kandi and Todd. But Sheree kind of leaves that for right now. So all that comes out is the husband thing. And Shamia's reaction is, of course, you know, this isn't true. I don't sleep with anyone's husbands. And if I wanted to, I would have slept with Apollo because he was hitting on me all the time. So I could have been sleeping with somebody's husband and it would have been hers.
Okay.
Which, like, okay, kind of a crazy defense for, like, I'm not sleeping with people's husbands. Like, I was hit on by your husband. But, I mean, sure, it's an interesting strategy, and She then brings up rumors about Phaedra, and actually, without even knowing, this is kind of beautiful, actually, without even knowing that when Phaedra was talking about Shamia, she was miming penetrative sex with her hands. Shamia, when talking about Phaedra, mimes sucking dick instead of
Wow.
saying it. Wow.
Their gorgeous storytelling
Their gorgeous
abilities.
connection across rumors and oral storytelling prowess. That's stunning. That's what
I
it's all
think it's
about.
amazing. You know, this is kind of reminding me of the current season of Atlanta. Are you watching?
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind because
Yeah.
I have to watch a lot for for our homework here, so I get overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But it just reminds me of because, you know, later, because Portia and Shamir are kind of in a weird place right now, which reminds me of this current season. And Phaedra and Shamia are, you know, I feel like they've never been super close.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just reminding me of that. I'm surprised that they uh like came back from this though. Well, maybe they never did. I don't know. But there they're both really going for painting a picture for the audience of just how sexually promiscuous the other is.
Right. There's a lot of sexual rumors and sexual stories, and it's dirty. It's dirty in the Atlanta streets right now. And you know, Portia and Shamia kind of have a little bit of a beef about Portia not going to this. Portia's like, I'm sorry, girl, like, but I wasn't gonna come, and Shamia's mad, but they leave it fine. But ultimately, what Shamia does end up telling Portia at their discussion of this is, you need to be really careful of your new friend, Phaedra. Like, she's gonna steer you wrong. Like, I don't trust her. I don't think she has your best interest at heart. And it seems like you're like really on her side, like really riding for her hard. And Portia like could care less. She's like, yeah, okay, like whatever, Shamia. Like, thanks for telling me to be careful with Phaedra. Like, let's move along.
Can I
And
just
they move
say,
along.
watching this back, maybe it's like a recency bias, but Shamia's just annoying.
She's so annoying.
She just like is a very like preachy, like high horse wannabe kind of like figure, I feel. And I feel like she's always trying to like have a moment or like be important. And it's like very forced. And I noticed that watching this back.
Yeah, she's very annoying. You hit the nail on the head. I think she like really does too much in situations where she doesn't need to, and that's not the way to emerge as a friend of. Like, if anything, it's the quiet humor, like low key star power type friend ofs that like rise up.
Yeah.
So she's doing it wrong. That's why it took her so long. But I mean, she did do it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should eat my words. But I digress. The ladies, as we mentioned, are going glamping, and they are all invited. I believe it's like sort of organized by Phaedra for the most part, but she had some input from somebody else. It's not important. But they're going glamping, and all the core women are invited, but Sheree brings Marlo. We all know and love Marlo Hampton.
Oh, Marla.
So Sheree brings Marlo, who's not invited, and Portia brings her sister, who's not invited. And then
Love Lauren.
Kandi brings some lady, some Kia, who's not invited. Like, okay, these rude ass women. Like,
I love
that's
how they're all
plus
like,
3.
no, literally, and they're all basically saying like, I want to bring someone I'm better friends with than you all because then it'll be tolerable.
Like, okay, so everybody wants backup. Whatever, fine. Let's do it. Well, really,
They're
actually,
probably gonna
correction.
need it.
Portia wants backup, Kandi wants backup, and Sheree wants backup, but in creating more mess. Not for herself.
Sheree wants like a lead pot stirrer to like so she can
Right.
cower behind them and hide her
needs-
hand.
She needs a partner in crime, not
She needs a wind-up toy
necessarily-
that she can send
Right.
off.
And yeah, and honestly, like, nobody really seems to care that much. Like, Phaedra's a little bit like, I didn't know that everybody was bringing a +1. Like, okay.
The Atlanta women are so, like, wild when it comes to trips. Like, I was just telling someone about this the other day, how, I forgot what season it was. It's before this, but they're going to Savannah, Georgia. And they are, like, they're supposed to be at, like, the pickup spot to get on the bus at, like, 10. And Kandi and Phaedra showed up at, like, 1 or 2 p.m. That is, like,
That's
way
insane.
beyond a reasonable scope of being late. That is straight up. They should have left without you and told you to never text them again, and your friendship is over. Like, what do you... And then they showed up like, hey, guys, sorry, traffic. Excuse me? Did you... Oh, traffic? Like, your car rolled down the hill and you needed to be airlifted to the hospital? That kind of traffic? Because what do you mean? No, they're crazy.
It is wild. And, they make their way to the glamping site in the Sprinter van, which is always, if there's a Sprinter van, there's an argument happening. But in summation, because we have bigger things to get to in a jam-packed season like this one, Kandi's +1, whoever that rando was, she, like, clearly was brought just to be a mouthpiece because Kandi wanted to be like, I didn't say it, but, like, this person who we've never seen before is so vocal on the way there, and it's very much adding to the Kandi and Kenya versus Portia conflict. Like, that's what she's chiming in on. And Portia is talking to her. Portia's sister has Portia's back. So we see the backup agents in action on the way there.
The forces, the armies are getting in line. The battlefield is forming.
They were called to work immediately in their positions.
I wonder if
so
they
it kind of just
check.
sets the stage. Probably not. Honestly, I doubt they get a check.
I think they were just excited to be there.
Doing it for the love of the game. I
actually don't even know she was white, but Kandi's random Kia friend, she was just happy to be involved. I don't think she was white.
I think she was at least mixed with a little something, but hard to say.
She was just happy to be plucked out of her regular life for an evening. For 2 days.
She was actually a fan in a contest of come join us on this Sprinter van and really get all up in the conflict. Guest appearance.
Kandi will be whispering in your ear a couple times here and there. Just go along with it. Just
Script will be pre-approved by Kandi. It will be dropped on your desk 7 weeks before the van ride. Please come. You need to be off book. Do not bring the book.
And by the way, you do have to wear the Kandi vibrating panties from the Kandi factory. Kandi.
You will be locked in the Kandi factory until you learn your lines, but I promise this is going to be a super lucrative gig for you.
Yeah, but you do also have to wear a Mama Joyce wig the entire time. Yep. That's also part of it. And everyone's going to refer to you as Mama Joyce. Just, again, go along with it. It'll be fine. Anyway. Oh, I'm, like, sweating a little bit. So we do arrive at this, like, lodge camping vibe situation. It's they have to check in inside of a lodge, but then Phaedra tells everyone that they're actually going to be camping for the first night, like, because they thought they were going to their, like, cabins. So everyone, like, does have a cabin that they're going to stay in the next night, but, like, the first night, they're like, okay, everyone, like, grab some stuff, we're heading to the woods. So while everyone's going to their rooms to, like, pack their stuff for the camping site, this is where you start to see exactly why people were invited on this trip. Because Sheree tells Marlo in their room together. Oh, by the way, Phaedra was like, y'all gotta bunk up, a couple of you, because there aren't enough rooms. And Sheree and Marlo are staying together, but Marlo was like, I don't want anyone staying with me. I have, like, gas problems. Like, she was saying, like, I'm gonna fart, like, real crazy, so nobody should stay with me. Evidently, Sheree was the one who has to stay with Marlo. But so they're packing up and to go camping, and that's when Sheree tells Marlo that one of the ladies, and she won't say who, one of the ladies said that another lady, and again, she won't say who, dipped in the lady pond, and she wants to bring it up when they have dinner, because Sheree's whole thing, and I actually do actually feel like her motivations are genuine, but I also think she just likes being messy. You can disagree with me, but she keeps saying, I have this information. It feels weird to kiki with somebody knowing that I know something was said about them and not tell them. So I actually believe that she believes that, but I also believe that she knows that she's making a TV show.
Yeah,
And
I think that's
so,
probably true. I
yeah,
love it though. You know me.
obsessed.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. I love the hardworking housewives. I love the messy girls. Someone's got to keep it pushing. Someone's got to keep us on the straight and narrow. So
Sheree is a wonderful housewife. I think she's been done so dirty. I think that it is so
agreed.
unfortunate that she came back with her tagline saying, "Don't call it a comeback, it's a takeover," and then was only there for one season. That's
It was
not
a takeover
right.
though.
It was a takeover for our hearts, for the hearts of America. But for the Bravo TV network, unfortunately not. So anyway, moving forward, Marlo hears this information and she goes, "Well, since you won't tell me, I will say, like, I have heard about Kandi before." And that's exactly who this rumor was about. So Marlo apparently has independently heard that Kandi likes to dip in the lady pond. Separately, so we go to the campsite. Everyone's like, they have to pitch their own tents. The women are obviously complaining about this. Marlo, I don't think owns like any clothing that is remotely like acceptable to wear to a camping site. So she's in like Gucci and shit. I think she's wearing heels. She's not setting her tent up. She and Kenya are not in a good place. As we mentioned in the past episode, Kenya randomly didn't invite her to her housewarming. Marlo took that like very offensively. So they get into a fight while they're sitting around the campfire. And this is when Marlo says that if a person's mother doesn't want to deal with them, that's how you know something's not right. And then she calls Kenya evil. And everyone sort of is like, no, that's too far. No, 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 no. And, you know, Marlo just wanted to go for the jugular because she wanted a moment. And that was an easy way to get at her. But everyone's like, we don't do that. We don't do that. And so
we don't do that here. Get a
we
band.
don't we don't say nasty things about people on this show. We don't say things that aren't true. We don't come
icky.
after people.
We don't do this to women.
We need to be women that women aspire to be. Do you think women aspire to be this trash? Okay, anyway, that's a Vicky Gumbelson quote, y'all. So the next day, basically nothing really happens that interesting other than that fight. But the next day they go to dinner. This is the dinner. So Marlo, by the way, blinged out in like a blingy choker. They're on the porch outside of like a log cabin in the woods. Marlo is wearing this blingy choker. She's wearing like thigh-high boots. She's wearing a feather coat or like a fur coat. And everyone else is wearing like Lululemon and shit because it's like not that deep. And this is when Marlo decides that it's time to clock in.
I've just been hearing things. I want to know. Kandi, are you a lesbian? Because I've heard that, and someone at this table has been talking behind her back, saying she's a lesbian in the closet.
Who has been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said
that? The sipping noise that they make. Who had been saying that?
Said that? It's Portia's genuine confusion. Like,
Portia genuinely forgot that she said Kandi was a lesbian in someone's closet. And she, at one point, like, looks at Marlo and she's like, well, I feel like no one here wants to own up to it. Like, just fucking say it. And then she was like, then she was like, well, Sheree told me, but someone told her. And then Sheree goes, Portia, we had a conversation, and she goes, me? She's like, what the fuck? And this is when you can tell, she doesn't remember what, she literally says, I don't remember saying that. I don't know why I would have said that. But then she's jogging her memory about the conversation. Sheree's jogging Portia's memory, and Portia goes, oh, that was just shade. But also not, because it's true, but like I was just being shady. Like I wasn't trying to like, I didn't remember it because it wasn't that serious. It wasn't that deep. And everyone's just like, well, Portia then accuses Sheree of saying, because she's trying to like deflect the blame off of her. So she goes, well, Sheree, you said Kandi was fucking Shamia. And it's funny because Sheree did not say that. That's Phaedra. And Phaedra is at the end of the table sipping her wine vociferously. And she's not saying shit. Like she's not getting involved. And so Sheree's now being accused of something she did not do. And Kandi literally says, like, she's been with a woman, but she hasn't done anything more than what Portia's done. And Portia gets all like, you don't know what I've done. And then that's when they both kind of start doing this thing where they're like, I know what you've done. Oh, I know what you've done. Oh, you don't want to go there. Like, they start kind of like threatening each other with information. So after dinner, they all disperse. We get back into our little, like, you know, alliances in different rooms. And Kandi tells Cynthia and Kenya that when Portia gets drunk, she becomes an aggressive lesbian. And so basically, yeah, they're both just debriefing to other people that like they know things about the other person, and if things are gonna get nasty, like we'll go there. And then basically that's like what happens on the trip, other than them also like, you know, doing stupid like activities in the pond and whatever bonding activities after you've just like drawn such a stark line in the sand of like, I fucking hate you. And then they're like, all right, let's go like to the lake, ladies.
Right.
I love their stupid activities.
And to put two euphemisms into one metaphor. Whoa. Are you with me? Are you with me? Put two euphemisms into one metaphor. The cat is out of the box now on the lesbian allegations.
Oh, you really went there.
The cat is out of the box after this trip. Like, literally.
The pussy's out of the box. Ooh.
The pussy is out of the box. The gloves are off.
Let's go.
The panties are off. And it's all out there now. So we're only gonna, you know, keep unraveling this story.
It does not get better.
Season.
Listener, in case you thought that was the worst it was gonna get, just stay put. You might want to get a drink and sit down.
And it's funny because, like, you know, Kandi gets really mad after this dinner. Rightly so, I suppose. Like, she's not pleased.
You're like, Candy's randomly upset.
To ride back with Kandi for
and then
some
Kandi
reason is mad.
It's not clear, but Kandi doesn't want to talk to anybody. She's like kind of over it, but nobody knows why.
And she won't ride in the car back with them, but it's funny because like the rest of them are in the little van, and Portia's like, honestly, like I still had a great night.
Her beautiful,
honestly,
resilient spirit.
Good for you, princess. I'm so glad.
Oh, kitten, that's amazing.
And it's funny, but like they're all kind of ruminating, and Sheree does make a little comment, and she's like, I'm the bone collector. Like, I have to do my job. And she says, I need to get Phaedra to admit that she was involved. Like, why did we just go through that whole dinner without Phaedra saying anything? Like, Sheree knows that Phaedra is involved because she was there when she said that Shamia was hooking up with Kandi and Todd. And Portia knows too. So there's two people who, like, should be questioning. Sheree at least is. Portia not yet, but
it's a little surprising that nobody in that moment looked at Phaedra and said, you were there, and actually you said that. Because Sheree was accused of it. I mean, if I'm at a table and someone tells me, like, you said something crazy about whoever else is at the table, and it was actually somebody else who's also at the table, I'm looking at that person and saying, no, that was you. Like, it's weird that wasn't an instinct, unless they were trying to protect her.
I agree. And as I said, the cat is out of the box now, and the gloves are definitely off. So Portia and Kandi are both like, now, you know, we're in full feud mode now. Nothing really matters. They're both going to throw everything that they have in their arsenal at each other. And Kandi in her like fake confessional booth at the Kandi factory, she tells her ensemble that, you know, everyone knows that Portia has been hooking up with women for a very long time. She says that she has her own experience with Portia, and I'm going to save the exact verbiage for her just a minute or two later, but basically that they've hooked up and they've had their own lesbian encounter, and the Kandi factory like pretends to be gagged. Like they're like, no. And it's like, don't piss me off. Y'all obviously knew this already. Like, you're Kandi's closest friends and family. Like, you're telling me that none of y'all really knew this? Like, okay. Performative. So performative. Right. But we'll let it slide because...
If you're the listener right now and you haven't listened to part 1, we already went on a diatribe about these stupid Kandi factory scenes. So we'll just make you go back and listen to that because we have too much to talk about.
I can redo it. Like it's on the tip of my tongue just to like launch into it, but go listen to it. Anyways, Kandi, you know, with all of this, she's hot. She's got this information and she's ready to go. Like she's raring to go get Portia. So they set up a one-on-one to discuss the lesbian allegations, and you know, they talk about what's been going on, and Kandi is like, why were you pretending you didn't know at first? Like, why were you joining in on the, who said that? Like, who said that? Like, what are you talking about? And Portia's like, I don't remember every conversation I have, like, you know, but she flip-flops a lot. So it's like, I didn't remember, but also I said it because you talked about me having sex with Block, who is Kandi's ex, who Portia
and she didn't say that. She said that they were together, but Portia, for some reason, in her head, thought that Kandi was, like, airing her sexual, like, history. Kandi only ever said that, like, Portia had, at one point, kicked it with her baby daddy. So, Portia is, like, the aggressor for no reason in this conversation.
It does seem so, yeah. And, like, it's like, do you not remember, or is it a retaliatory thing? Or, like, which one is it? But, honestly, it kind of reminds me of Lisa Rinna, like, how Lisa Rinna would sort of be like, I didn't say that. Wait, actually, I don't know if I said that. I don't really remember if I said that. And, unfortunately, it kind of reminds me of myself, because I said this when we talked about Lisa Rinna. I be talking a lot, and sometimes someone will say something I said, and I'm like, I certainly could have. It sounds like me, but like I don't have it all up there. So like I do relate to these women, even though like it obviously isn't a really acceptable reason for like not remembering what you said, or like I mean, don't know.
I can't relate to that though at all. I feel like if I'm saying like if I have a strong negative opinion about somebody, or if I'm like talking shit about somebody, I feel like that stays with me. Like I feel like because I'm just consistent. So it's like if I'm talking shit, it's because I don't like them. So I'm probably actively like not liking them. So if somebody's like, you said this about them, I'm like, yeah, I did, because I don't like them. I feel like the idea that I would forget, I would just the feelings would still just be so like there. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know.
I just have strong opinions about everything, and I talk really emphatically. So like odds, like even if I didn't really care, that I said like they can rot, like they can literally rot and they can never talk to me again. Like even if I like, I'm just exaggerating. Like I just like to keep things fresh. Like I didn't really mean it like that. Like whatever.
Right.
Me and Portia and Lisa Rinna, we get each other.
Wow, the Tres Amigas.
That's so beautiful. But yeah, they kind of get right into it, and like Kandi's like, it's not me that's like unable to come up with like the truth about themselves being with women. Like that's you, girly. Like you're projecting your sexuality basically onto me. But let's roll the first clip of when they start kind of hurling accusations.
Yeah. But that's just like when you was kissing me in the club and told me you wanted to eat my till I came.
I want to eat your mother.
You said
Girl,
that.
Are you kidding
you
me?
can deny it if you want to. Your tongue kissed me in my mouth, and you said you wanted to eat me till I came.
That is a f***ing lie.
You tongued me down, bitch.
All of that is a lie.
First of all,
I
it's
have
not
a
even
good time.
just
I have a
me.
good time to do what
It's
I
not
do.
even just
You
me.
and your
Even one
relationship
of my
that you
homegirls
had with
was
a
like, you
woman
made
for
them feel
7 years, and you're all uproar with me.
Hold
While
up,
we talking about what I do.
Hold up, I'm sorry, roll back. What?
You tongued me down, bitch.
You tongued me down, bitch. The way that Kandi delivers these lines, like I have to
So
give her
good.
I have to give her all her flowers. The eat my
Like,
pussy
here's-
till I came.
You said you wanted to eat my pussy. And like, I don't know. I have such mixed feelings about Kandi. I think I get why some people are like annoyed with her, don't like her, whatever. But then she does work for her check. Like, she is an active member of the cast, and she has good moments.
Right. She
I
doesn't
feel
do
like
it for me, but
she's not one of
you
my
gotta
favorites.
give it to her here.
But I'm not gonna say she's like worthless as a housewife and hasn't like done her
She's
job.
worthless.
I mean, could I use less Candy Factory scenes? Could I use less like scenes of everyone in her life, every family member talking about how she gives them no time because she's always working, and there's conflict with Todd and Mama Joyce, and she does nothing about it and then just kind of hopes it goes away, and then every season we have to deal with that? Yeah, that would be great. But in terms of this, she gave us this. That's incredible. You just
And
made
yeah,
that up.
They clearly what we can agree on and what they agree on is that they had a moment in the club and they made out for sure. Check.
No,
We can.
Portia hasn't
Yes.
agreed on that yet.
She's about to agree on it in like 5 minutes.
Is it? I thought it was in Maui that she agrees on it. Either way, she eventually admits to it. But moving on.
I don't really think it matters. They've made out and they agree on this. Either right now or later, they agree on this. But Portia doesn't really remember, / maybe she said it, / she didn't say it, or maybe she did and doesn't remember. We're not really sure. But the eating Candy's pussy till she comes, till she will come, till she, whatever. We're not really sure about that happening or not. And then like, this whole season, kind of everyone is just taking whatever lesbian allegation they can and throwing it at the other one and seeing what'll stick. Like Portia's like, you like have a 7-year relationship and some other crazy things that we have too.
Oh, Kandi, stop.
That is the
Don't do
truth.
that.
Whether you don't
Girl,
want to believe it.
Bye. Girl, I thought we were having an honest conversation.
I'm having an honest conversation with you.
Now, you don't have a sex dungeon?
No, I do not.
Oh, that's a lie.
No, I would love to show you my house.
Oh, I don't need to
not
see it.
No, ma'am.
I don't need to see it. Whatever sex chamber
You
y'all
done
have
made
going
that
on.
up.
I made that up.
Yes, you did. You
Oh,
just
no, I
made
did
that
not.
to make yourself
I
feel
promise
good.
you I didn't make that up.
Oh, I promise you I didn't make that.
I do love Kandi angrily being like, I would love to show you my house. Oh, how delightful. Like, thank you, Kandi. Like, I'd love to come over.
Girl, thanks for the invite. Like,
Aw,
I'll bring the
thanks.
wine.
I'll be there. And
Tonight at
Portia
8?
getting like her terms confused. It's a sex chamber. It's a sex dungeon. Like, and I think it's in a confessional, like right after this, that Kandi is like, y'all know me and like my online persona. If I had a sex dungeon, I would be showing you the ins and outs. Like I would have a tour up. And like that is the best defense, honestly, for this whole thing. Because I was like, oh yeah, like it's so true. Like Kandi has the Candy Factory. She has the bedroom candy. She has the candy coated nights. Like, and most of that has like an undercurrent of sexual themes. And obviously bedroom candy is literally like sex
Right.
toys. So like,
You
yeah,
think
why
this
would she
lady-
be shy about that?
You think she wouldn't have made that very clear abundantly that when she moved into this home, she's putting in a sex dungeon? Like, that would have been her storyline for the entire season. Like,
Right.
come on.
Whatever. But it's so funny. And, they try to just continue to bring up who is the bigger lesbian between the two of them. And they're trying to out lesbian each other, and Kandi eventually gets mad and leaves. And I do like, it would be a fun study to like do like every housewife lunch conflict of like what course they made it to, like if anyone really ever makes it through like dinner. But if we start now, they don't make it beyond water. And maybe that's because it was really quick. Maybe this was actually like a 5-minute conversation. Or maybe their server was like, I think they're accusing each other of lesbianism. Maybe now isn't the time for me to come up and ask what they want to eat. Like, maybe I'll give them a beat. Like,
Also, like, Portia arrives at this, like, whatever it was supposed to be meal-wise. She's like, I'm on a 2-day cleanse, so she has, like, a bottle of, like, juice or something. So it's not even clear if she was actually trying to eat anything, but I always noticed that, too, where I'm like, they sat down at a restaurant, ordered water, then they both stormed off. I'm like, why didn't y'all just sit outside? Like, you had to, like, bother this waiter. And by the way, if I'm seeing the menu, if I'm looking at the menu, I'm gonna order something. Like, I'm here. I might as well. Y'all are just
right,
getting
I
up
would
after...
definitely be the one that doesn't storm out, and then I'd sit and have myself a nice little solo date once
Right.
once my partner was gone. I'm already seated. I'd probably
Once your
invite
scene
the
partner...
crew. Come have a seat.
Once your scene partner accuses you of munching some snatch and leaves, then you'd have a nice little solo date after that. So, yeah, we don't get anywhere, clearly. And the next scene we get is Kandi's like debriefing that conversation with Portia, or about the conversation she had with Portia. She's debriefing to Kenya, to Cynthia, to Sheree and Shamia, and Sheree, which I feel like this is the sister comment to when she was like I can't believe that Kim came out as a lesbian, when like the article literally said like, Kim Zolciak, I'm bisexual. This is the sister comment to that, where Sheree says in her confessional, I never would have pictured Portia as a carpet muncher. Which is like, that's like, okay, that's crazy. So then Portia's debriefing with her sister, and she like says that night at the club, she had beer goggles on, like 1,000. So she's kind of like soft launching that, like, yeah, she was really drunk and probably was like going after Kandi. By the way, Kandi doesn't drink, so Kandi was sober this whole time.
Kandi
so, like,
doesn't drink?
No. Like,
Has that always been true?
Yeah. There was, I mean, we'll get to it later, but she, is very adamant about, like, the allegations that come out later in the season, because she's like, in the music industry, all that stuff is very prominent, and I made it a thing to, like, not be someone who would do those things. So, but if you look at her, she's always having water. She's never drinking. She says she was sober in the club. Like, she doesn't drink.
Like, she was sober, like, pillow talk night?
Yeah.
Like, way back when?
Kandi, her thing has always been that, like, she's never been sober as, like, a response to being an alcoholic or anything. She just has always been someone who never really, like, got into anything. And I think it stemmed from a place of, like, the music industry can be really crazy when it comes to that stuff. So she was like, I want to just be straight edge and, like, focus on being successful. But she does say she was sober. So it's like, well, Portia was fucking drunk. And then Portia tells her sister that Todd's in New York telling women that his name is Marvin so he can cheat on Kandi. And we don't know at this point where any of this information is coming from. But we do move on to the women wanting, there's a trip being planned to go to Maui. I believe Kandi is planning that trip. Todd invites Peter, even though Cynthia and Peter are like literally about to be finally divorced. But I guess Todd is friends with Peter, so
like, okay,
I guess
Todd.
he's gotta come.
Like, who gave Todd, like, why is Todd planning this trip for the housewife? Like, can we not do this right now? Like, don't piss me off.
Are you on the cast? Do you got a peach? I don't think so. That's kind of crazy. Kandi says that Phaedra can invite a +1. She can invite Portia, even though Kandi's obviously not going to invite Portia directly, but if she wants to, she can invite Portia. And Portia ends up also bringing her boyfriend, the one that she's had this weird side plot with the whole time, where she's trying to like get him pregnant, or she's trying to have him get her pregnant but like, I don't know. I honestly, like,
Right.
this
She
is
just
not
like
even...
wants a baby, and like he was just like the first guy to roll along. Like,
Yeah.
and because
it's
he like
a-
already has kids, she like thinks that like makes him like pre-vetted. Like she's like, he's a good father, so like me and him could just have a child even if like we're not married. Like, let's just kind of get this rolling. More to
Yeah,
come with
so-
that. But I know, wild to bring a +1 as the +1.
a +1 as a +1, as you said earlier, like, they don't care about rules or regulations. They just do whatever the fuck. Sheree brings Bob on the trip because this is when she sort of cops to the fact that they are actually like trying to date each other. Like before, she kept saying the word like friendship, and then it becomes obvious here that like, okay, I think they're trying to rekindle their like marriage, which is very strange. The women go to their first dinner in Maui, and Sheree and Cynthia tell Portia that the women feel like she says slanderous things and untrue things about other women, obviously referring to the conversation that Kandi had with her. And Kandi calls Portia a lying bitch because this is, I think, when Kandi... So at this dinner, it comes out. It didn't air at the initial sit down, but at the sit down, apparently Portia had also accused Kandi and Todd of saying that they were going to drug Portia and Shamia and bring them back to their sex dungeon. And so I think that like Kandi took a couple days to process that. And then at this dinner, she like loses her shit, and is just like, you were fucking kissing me at the club. And Portia at this point is like, oh, well, I was tipsy, so maybe I did. And Kandi starts passing out like printed screenshots of their text messages between Portia and Kandi days after, to everyone. And Portia literally like there in the text message was saying like, don't worry, I won't rape you on camera, which is a crazy thing to say. And things get extremely heated. Like, Kandi is like crying, she's screaming, she's like trying to like say like it's fucked up and crazy that you'd put that out there, that I would try and do that and bring you back to a dungeon and drug you and all these things. And Phaedra, once more, zipped. Nada. She's not speaking at the table. And Candy's trying to look at Phaedra and be like, look, I know we're not good right now, but I wouldn't do that. You know that I would not do something like that. And she was like, for Portia to put that out there, it took everything in me not to choke the shit out of her. Like, Kandi was losing it. This is night 1. We just got to Maui. And we're already fucking crying, screaming, throwing up. And then everyone goes to bed. And then we continue the next day.
Yeah, and Maui like gets kind of dark for Sheree, because she brings Bob, as Blake pointed out, and like they were married, they've been together in the past, they're rekindling ish now, they've been on and off at various points, so they have a long history, but they're in like 2 separate vans going to like outdoor like boating activity, whatever it is they're doing. And Bob is in the car with Sheree and Kenya and Phaedra. Kenya and Phaedra are in the back seat, and they get on the subject somehow of like Sheree and Bob, and he's talking about like making comments to her in the car. Like somehow he says something about another time they were in the car together, and he's like, yeah, I wanted to put her straight through the car window. And everyone's kind of like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, I wish I had. And like, it gets awkward, and Sheree's like, Bob, like, stop. And he's like, oh, I don't actually do anything to you. Like, come on. Like, did I ever touch you? Like, have I ever hit you? Have I ever choked you? And Sheree's like, yeah, like, you have. And he's like, well, maybe I have choked you. Like, but if I did, I didn't do it hard enough. And like, whatever, I'm sorry. But like, I should have just done it harder then, if like, you're not even really sure. And Sheree starts sobbing, and like Kenya is hugging her from like behind the seat, and it's just heinous. It's obviously heinous. Like, this is terrible. And it comes out more and more throughout the season. Like, Sheree opens up a little bit more, like, in various episodes and scenes. And they talk about it a little bit at some parts of the reunion. And yeah, I mean, it's just devastating. He obviously was abusive towards her, and it took a while for her to be able to even talk about it. So like, he had to like force her hand too, and now she has to talk about it. And Kenya had made a sort of like a weird comment earlier on in the season about Sheree potentially having been through domestic abuse in her past. Like, she like said something like, "Yeah, you've been through it, like Sheree, like you've been jumped before." So we kind of had a precursor in the first half, but Kenya, no one really knew like who she was talking about or if it was true. So this like confirms it, and just yeah, we love our queen, Sheree, obviously.
Yeah, and
It's just
she
like horrible. What more do you say
sh-
than it? Like, it's
sh-
horrible and awful.
right. And I think this on this trip, well, not I think, I know, it's very clear that she's just like, wait, I don't know what the fuck I thought I was doing with this man. Like,
Right.
this is, we're not getting anywhere. We're not going to go in a better direction. Like, this is still the same man that I divorced, that I don't want anything to do with. And so she basically sits down with him and says, it's done. And she doesn't believe that he's changed, and she thinks like the abuse would continue if they like stayed together. And she does have she says this one thing about how like when they were together, Bob literally just like up and left for like 6 months, didn't tell anyone, like including Sheree and the young children while they were married, didn't tell anyone, and then didn't respond, didn't send text, didn't like communicate, and then 6 months later just returned and picked up like nothing happened. And she starts crying about that. So she's basically like, we're done.
Yeah.
Which like, I'm very happy that she does come to that uh realization. I have never understood where this even came from in the first place, because they've been divorced for 10 years at this point. So
Yeah.
it's a very strange like storyline for Sheree to have, especially when she is actively building her fucking chateau on her own. Like, she clearly doesn't need him. So it's very strange, but she moves on from him. Kenya decides to throw Cynthia and Portia a divorce party, because this is the season of everyone getting divorced. And the theme is, I do, I did, I'm done. And the party, it's just kind of, it has a very like bachelorette feel to it. There's like dick, everything, pin the dick on the dick, and all this whatever. This has been like a housewives trope for as long as time has been around. But Phaedra arrives at this party, and she just like looks very ill. Like, she's like, I'm not feeling well, guys. Like, she just looks like a Debbie Downer. And she's like, I actually think I'm gonna go like find some ginger ale. I'm not feeling well, my stomach, blah blah blah. So she leaves, and everyone's like, wait, that was kind of weird. Like, is she okay? Like, is she upset? Like, what the hell? And Portia's like, no, like, she was about to throw up. Like, she was not feeling good. Like, she's genuinely really sick. Then, like, literally not 5 seconds later, Portia gets a text. She looks at her phone and goes, y'all were right. So, y'all were right. She's pissed. She's actually furious. And this kind of comes out of nowhere, but she texts Portia that like these women celebrate destruction, and she's like, it's disgusting that like even like the head, like the host of the party, is the one who was texting my husband all these years. So like, she's fucking mad, and Kenya ends up going to try to speak to her. They get into a fight. They, by the way, as you mentioned, I think this was the season when the producers told them like, y'all gotta be like friends, because your fight thing is going on for too long, and like, we're gonna fire someone if this keeps happening. So I think that's why they had this like brief moment of friendship, but then Phaedra just couldn't fucking handle it. So she goes back to being angry at Kenya, and they have this fight, and like, it's just, they're rehashing the same nonsense. Like, you texted Apollo, we apologized for that, we moved on. She was like, but now you're celebrating divorce, and like, you were an issue in my divorce. And Kenya goes, well, do you blame me for your divorce? And Phaedra goes, no. And she goes, exactly. Okay. So I was one drop in a bucket. So it doesn't go anywhere. But Kenya does say like, Phaedra's not sick. She's sick in the head. And we kind of just,
Right. I mean, like, Kenya's right. Like, she tried to do something nice and fun. Like, Phaedra acted a weirdo about it, and then used it to reignite things that she was clearly never over, but like
yeah.
pretended to be for some reason, for like pretty much this entire season so far. So like it
I
is
really
kind of
do-
a big switch up for the two of them out of nowhere, like over something that really is intended to be nice. Like Kenya's done more annoying things than this. Like
It was supposed to be fun. I really do feel like it was a producer telling them, like, guys, can we freaking, like, move on from this? Like, it's been seasons, whatever, who cares? But anyway, now they're in a bad place again, and that's how we leave Maui. Like, Maui it did not seem like a fun cast trip. There were, like, they roasted Peter Thomas, that was okay, but everything else was, like, a huge fight, and then we come back to Atlanta.
Yeah, and not like super central to the plot, but something that I do think is kind of funny / innovative. Portia, as mentioned, is trying to like low-key have a baby with her strange boyfriend. And she calls Phaedra from her house and is like, I'm working on a little something that I might need you to look over, like as a lawyer. And Phaedra's like, oh, like what is it? Portia tells her that she's drafting up a baby nup, which, similar to a prenup, is instead of before a wedding, it's before a baby. So she maybe invents this. I'm sure someone has done this before. God, she's amazing. And she like drafts this up herself, probably like this was like pre-AI, so probably like on Google, she like found someone else that like wrote it up as a joke or as real, who knows. And Phaedra's kind of like, yeah, girl, like send it to me and I'll take a look at this. Like whatever, Portia. And she drafts it up and Phaedra looks it over and then she has her man over and he literally is like, he's like all like ready to like, he's all like horny, like he's like trying to hook up with her when he comes over, and she's like, I need you to like look at this first, and like lays down this document, and he's like, so you're not gonna have sex with me unless I sign this right now? And Portia's like, yeah, like pretty much, yeah. And he's like, this is extortion, and he gets up and leaves.
Extortion is
Like,
when
not
I can't have sex
extortion.
with you.
OMFG, like what are we talking about? But honestly, like one of her smarter ideas, like you're thinking a little bit, like
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
these men are not not all there, baby girl. So yeah, write up the baby nup if you're really gonna have a child with this man who you barely even have a stable like 2-month relationship with. But c'est la vie. Another thing that kind of adds fuel to the fire / is a chess move that Phaedra makes. Like, wow, you know, all the lesbian allegations are going on camera. So obviously this is like manipulated to a certain extent. One of Kandi's former employees like shows up to Phaedra's law office and is like, I like want to talk to you to see if I have a case. Like I have been mistreated at the candy factory. Like I need help.
wait, so you're telling me that the season during which Phaedra is falling out with Kandi, there's magically an employee from the candy factory who employs Phaedra's services as an attorney to sue Kandi for abusing an employee?
And he just happened
Phaedra...
to turn up while she had cameras set up outside her office. Like that's amazing.
Wait, is
like,
that what you're saying to the listener? Because that's
what I'm
crazy.
saying. Yeah. And this guy, his name is Johnny. He like basically gets into it and is like, on the one hand, they basically have stolen ideas from me. And he says that the concept for Old Lady Gang is basically something that they took from him. And he implies that the play that they wrote called A Mother's Love was also stolen from someone else, like not from him, but that was also a stolen idea. And then he says, and separately, they owe me money. Like they did not pay me for the hours that I've worked. Like I'm, you know, very underpaid. I need to get this money. I need to get this check. And Phaedra's like, okay, like I'm not an employment lawyer, but like I'm happy to connect you with someone. And she kind of like takes him through the steps to another lawyer. But also, of course, this is all on camera. She's like his shepherd through the legal process. And we must have it filmed for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And, you know, in her confessional, she's like, I have no issues with Kandi. Like, I'm just doing my lawyerly duty. Like,
Right.
this
And
has
this is my
nothing to
ethical
do with
duty to
it.
my client who happens to have had a huge falling out with a woman that I don't like anymore.
And the employment lawyer is basically like, yeah, okay, we're not going to move forward on like the claims of like them maybe stealing ideas. Like that's a little too loose, but we will move forward in a lawsuit about you being underpaid. And the guy is basically like asking for upwards of $100,000 in overtime pay. So like, we're not talking chump change. Like he's claiming a lot more hours than he worked. And you know, Kandi finds out about the lawsuit. She finds out that Phaedra's been this guy's like legal escort, even though she's not his lawyer. Question mark. Like whatever she is to him, like who knows? And Kandi obviously like says this is all bullshit and that she's already paid this person and like, you know, it's messed up that Phaedra is doing this. And yeah, it becomes an issue. They confront each other about it at the season finale event. That we'll talk a little bit about. And basically Phaedra's defense of this is, you know, I was approached as a lawyer and I had to give my legal counsel and, you know, Candy's like, give me some, you know, tell me what's going on. And Phaedra's like, I can't, it's client attorney privilege. Like, I can't talk to you about it. Like, it's all confidential. So they
Which
keep it
is
tight.
true. That is true. Like,
is that true when it's filmed for TV?
no, that's
Ooh.
actually not true.
Loophole.
No, you're right. I didn't even like if it were not filmed.
Order in the court.
Like that didn't even click to me. Like because it technically like if the guy just approached her and was like, I need counsel, here are my issues, like yeah, you owe that person a duty not to say anything. But if you are filming something, like if the privilege is waived whenever that information is going to be released to a third party. It could be one person, it could be a bunch of people. So the minute that other people are seeing it, so like if there's a fucking cameraman in the room filming it, suddenly that's not, you don't have the privilege anymore. So she made that up. You just made that up. You just made that up.
Law podcast now? Clock into court. Like
Emily Simpson, meet your maker.
That's a 1201 violation. That's
oh, that's a clear 1201 violation.
Me, when Phaedra says she has attorney-client privilege, that's a 1201 violation, ma'am.
The way you said, but is it if it's filmed? And I said, wait a minute.
Big brain up here. I turned it right on.
You basically went to law school.
That's the first time I've ever actually clarified a question we asked, because normally I just say, I'm not really sure. And then we roll along. But
I think a lot of our questions have nothing to do with us. A lot of our questions, a lot of our questions are like, is it racist to say that? And then we're like, we're not in a position to say the answer to that question. Can Jen Shaw wear braids? That's for someone else to figure out.
When we make it really big, we'll have a panel of DEI that we can ask questions to mid-episode. It'll be like 100 people like on a call, and we'll be
guys,
like, anyone?
Can Jen Shaw wear braids? Is that allowed? Anyone? We just need a producer, really.
Hit
That's what it is.
Hit the buzzer if you have a reply.
Anyway, so Kandi has her old lady gang soft opening restaurant, whatever, and Apollo, who is incarcerated at this time, his new girlfriend shows up to like congratulate Kandi and Todd for him, which I think he did that to spite Phaedra, and that's what Kandi thinks. Kandi's like, I don't want anything to do with this. Like, I didn't set this up. It's being filmed. I know this is gonna end up coming to bite me.
But I don't believe that, though.
You think that Kandi was part of it?
Her husband is a part of it. She's a part of it. Like, she is playing the same game that Phaedra's on camera with the employee. Kandi and Todd invite Apollo's girlfriend to this dinner that Phaedra was supposed to be at, but she calls out day of. So they meant for them to interact as well. So, like, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like, what? Like, Todd knew and you didn't know, and then you're not mad about it, or you really think they just made this up? But, like, obviously he called Apollo and told him that this was happening. Like, you've known about the girlfriend who, like, allegedly he had proposed to, and him and Phaedra are still, like, settling their divorce because it kind of, like, was like, oh, it's finalized, but then Apollo got, like, a judge. Her little thing at the end of the season, when it flashes by, like, to let you know where they're going, it says a judge agreed with Apollo, and, like, it went back, like, so they were, like, still contesting the terms. So, like, that's why
he said they were, like, litigating their divorce. Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's
he has a
definitely
fiance,
sus.
but they're still together. Yeah, it's messy. But I think on some level, Kandi had to have known about this. It's your party, take ownership of it. Again, we're on camera. Like, people have to
she
sign
definitely at
releases
least should have
for
been
shit.
like, I'm gonna ask you to leave because this is, like, not what I want to get involved with. She was like, this is strange, but then this girl's still over here talking about how basically, like, Apollo was fucking her while she was still married to Phaedra and blah blah blah. So she didn't, like, put the kibosh on that. So I mean, yeah, but that's really all that happens at this old lady gang thing. It's like almost
it's another
like
chess
scene.
move in
Yep.
Kandi Phaedra, because, like, the board has kind of shifted. Like, we started this episode and this first half of the second half with it being kind of Portia with the conflict, and then, like, you kind of see it to start moving towards Phaedra's way, even though the public scapegoat is Portia. But behind the scenes, it's really Kandi and Phaedra that are battling. Like, it's not Portia's fight. It's Phaedra's fight.
Yeah.
And yeah, the season ends with the housewarming of Chateau Charest, the most beautiful home in all the land. And it's not, like, super crazy. Phaedra and Kandi speak, and they kind of quickly air their latest grievances, which for Kandi is, why are you meeting with this guy that's suing me? Like, and, you know, as I said, Phaedra's basically like, I can't talk about that. And Phaedra's like, why are you inviting Apollo's girlfriend places? And Candy's like, I'm not. And so they just leave that where that is. You know, it's like nothing happens. They're still at the same place they were at. It cancels each other out. But yeah, Sheree has a nice event. In terms of the house battle, I think she beats more Manor. Her house definitely looks better. She at least has air conditioning. The chateau looks stunning. Sheree looks stunning. She's in, like, a full ball gown, which she later reveals to be, like, a tearaway skirt, and it's a jumpsuit underneath the skirt.
Word.
And this, like, is just a classic clip, a great line of Sheree's while Kim and Kenya are arguing, but
At least I don't look like I've had 5 kids, okay? Don't even try to pull that motherfucking card with me. She looks phenomenal.
she looks fucking phenomenal.
She looks fucking phenomenal.
And as you can see, Kim and Kenya are kind of going at it, and Sheree then decides to end that argument by shedding the tearaway skirt and revealing the jumpsuit. And that's really, like, all that happens at the party. It's good fun, you know. It sets us up for the reunion, where the conflict really hits its head. We hit, you know, the peak of it all. And
we should mention that we are starting at episode 3 of the reunion, because you know how they do, like, the fluff for the first couple episodes, and this is a 4-part reunion. So the first 2 episodes are inconsequential, but part 3 and part 4 is where we're focusing right now.
Yes, because that's where we get into the true conflict of, you know, the various web of Kandi, Phaedra, Portia, Kenya, Shamia, question mark.
Shamia is brought out for part 3, yes.
Yes. So, you know, they talk a little bit about, like, Phaedra and Portia and how they have been each other's confidants the entire season. And, like, you know, they do, like, a little montage of, like, frickin' Frack being friends. And you can see Kandi in, like, the bottom image of the video just, like, pissed the whole time that they're playing the clip. Like, so you can see what's about to come out. And, you know, Shamia clearly doesn't like that Portia Phaedra friendship. So like Andy kind of like sets us up with like, let's talk about like the cracks in this friendship before we talk about the conflict, because
Yeah. And
it's
the women do
relevant.
say that they feel like Phaedra and Portia have more of an alliance than a real friendship. It seems like that's like general consensus. And I mean, they are sort of on an island by themselves. Everyone else, I think, is like cool with each other. But, you know, Phaedra, I think everyone views as an operator at this point. And Portia, everyone thinks is just her puppet, which, well, we'll see.
Right. And yeah, they bring Shamia out to kind of discuss her part in it, because unfortunately she's been implicated in one of the millions of sex rumors that have flown this season.
One of the million lesbian rumors on this
whatever,
show.
bring Shamia out. And they discuss like a little bit like her. I wouldn't say like she doesn't really have like a fight with Portia, but they have a little bit of like chafing in their friendship because Portia is so close with Phaedra. So Shamia kind of talks about like, you know, again, that she was disappointed in how she didn't come to the party, and that, you know, she feels like Portia always defends Phaedra, like when, you know, when other people are talking about her, but when Phaedra was talking about Shamia, Portia was silent, like, and almost sort of like basically said, yes, this is true, because, you know, Phaedra's like, yeah, they were screwing, and Portia just said like, they were close, yes. Like,
Yeah. Which
so,
everyone's
yeah,
like,
you're
that's
agreeing.
you're implying, like, you wouldn't say that if you were like, no, they've never fucked. Like, oh, but they were close. Physically close, in the
Right.
same way that you would be if you had sex with somebody, because that's what you're kind of saying.
So, like, yeah, obviously Portia did, at the bare minimum, did not defend her. Like, even if you can debate, like, whether or not she confirmed or not, even though she did, you have to say she didn't defend her. And so that's the
Yeah.
issue. You know, Shamia and Phaedra kind of go at it, and Portia starts crying, which, you know, she's not about to stop for quite some time at this reunion. So might as well get into the heart of it, of lesbian gate. And the husbands have already come out at this point for like husband time, but they bring just Todd back out for like the lesbian gate discussions, which like I'm sure Kandi demanded this to be the case, because like Todd does not need to be out here for this. Like, he's sort of involved because yes, he was part of like the drugging rumor and like the Marvin thing, but like, oh, like, can we just keep him back away? Like, that pissed me off bad. But I guess it is a tough subject matter, so maybe they were like, Kandi can have whatever she wants, because it's like,
Yeah, because
their
she's like,
best look.
she's like the target in this
Right.
situation.
So Todd's out there, and they start to get into it. You know, they play like some of the arguments, like the ones that we've shared here, like the Kandi Portia sit down and the dinner with Marlo and all that good stuff. And Kandi again says like, you know, I never really understood any of this because I've always been open about my sexuality. And like I've said on this show, like way back to, you know, early seasons, like there's me on tape saying that I've been with women. So like, what is
Yeah,
the gotcha
nobody-
moment? Like, I'm not
Nobody's
really
shocked by
understanding
that.
it.
Like,
Right.
it's not a thing that, you know, like, Kandi has been, I will give this to her, like, Kandi is a very open, kind of
Yeah.
straightforward, what you see is what you get kind of housewife.
Right. It's a bold person to make up a like, ooh, you have this
Right.
closeted sex thing, when like this is someone who's been
You have a sex
notably
dungeon.
open, right? Like, why of all people would this be the person that, why would she keep this one thing secret? Like, when it would, if anything, just add to her brand, really, at
She
this
would
point.
start selling, like, sex swings and shit if she had a
Right.
dungeon.
And again,
She'd
she's
probably-
already said that she's been with women occasionally. Like, she's never been like, yeah, like I'm always like with women, like I'm always dating women. She's just said I've had a couple experiences. Like, and they showed a
Yeah.
flashback from like whatever it was, season 3, season 4 of her saying that. So yeah, it's just like a little bit odd. But she's like, you know, I have been with women, but Shamia's not one of them. Like, I have
She
not been with Shamia.
is adamant she and Todd have never approached Shamia. Shamia also co-signs this. She says this is a complete lie. It's nothing that like has actually happened. Phaedra says like, oh, I thought you guys fucked because you're close. And then, you know, everyone obviously makes the obvious argument of like, well, you and Kandi were close. Like, did you and Kandi fuck? And Phaedra's like, no. And then everyone's like, exactly. Like, it's the stupidest fucking thing you could ever say.
And Shamia's lame ass is like, thinking she's about to land like a lethal read. She's like, so you don't think anyone can have genuine friendships if they're not smashing them? Like, girl.
All right, thanks for using that
pipe
word.
down over there, like, stay quiet.
Girl, you're like fourth end of the couch. Like, please.
Oh my god, what you said,
it.
like she clearly wants to like have like maximize her airtime, and it's so annoying. But yeah, so that's kind of addressed, and Andy says, like Andy and Sheree kind of like echo what I said. Sheree said earlier of like, wait, Phaedra needs to admit her part in this. Like, how is Phaedra going to get away from this? And Andy asked her, like, why did you not speak up either at the dinner, at the Who Said That dinner, or we didn't even mention it, but on the trip, Phaedra says, everyone, like, let's meet up tonight and we're going to have a restoration and we're going to, like, get over our problems and we're going to, like, all own up to things and, like, move on. And so Andy's like, why not either at the dinner where everyone was literally asking, who said that? Or at the later restoration where you said everyone needs to be honest. Why didn't you say anything? And Phaedra kind of goes with this. Honestly, it's her funniest defense of the whole time. Otherwise, she kind of cracks under pressure. But this one's funny. She's like, well, I never said she was a lesbian. The question was, who said Kandi was a lesbian? And she's like, I never said that. And Andy's like, well, you said, and she goes, right, I said that she sleeps with women, but that doesn't mean she's a lesbian. Like, and he's like, Phaedra, come on. Like, you really didn't connect that this could be what you said and not like literally she's a lesbian word for word. And Phaedra's like, no, like, you can sleep with women and not be a lesbian, Andy. Like, by golly, like, I just don't understand what I could have been said. Like,
she's such a liar. Like, Phaedra is such a covert, like, operator, but she's so bad at what happens when she gets caught for it. It's like, and she's a smart woman. She's great with her words. She's a lawyer. But then when it's like, hey, this doesn't really add up, she's like, well, I never said lesbian. It's like, but
right.
But the average person would be
she's
sitting
trying
there
to
going,
get off on a technicality of like, I didn't say that specifically. Like, if I like literally was like, Blake is an evil whore, and someone's like, did you call Blake a mean slut? I'm like, no. I never said that.
I didn't say evil or horror.
Like, okay, like whatever. And yeah, they go over it a little bit more, and the part 3 ends with, a question gets asked, and Portia is basically like, well, I would answer this, except Kandi sent me a cease and desist letter, so why don't we have Phaedra go ahead and take this one, because she's the one who told me that Kandi said all of this happened. Like, this was not a, like, I heard this on the streets and I told Portia. This was a Phaedra told Portia that Kandi directly told her all of these things. So,
and this is the first time that we hear the source of where Portia got this. You were with a woman, Marvin cheating on you in New York, and you were going to drug me and take me to a sex dungeon.
It seemed like Portia kind of just was like throwing that out there as like stuff she'd heard, like just like from blogs. And like Portia does say like some of it was like just like from blogs, but most of it was direct from Phaedra claiming that Kandi said it to her, confirmed.
And Phaedra, her response to this is, well, no, I never said that. I repeated what I heard. And Portia's literally like, you told me that Kandi told you this. Like, she's like saying, I'll pull out text messages, like, don't make me go there. She's like, you said this to me weeks ago. You said this to me 2 days ago. Like, you have been maintaining that this was a, like, primary source, first person to first person. She said this to you. And, she's not budging on it. And this is what Kandi's reaction to hearing that Phaedra actually is the one who said this, because Kandi up until this point had no idea of like how connected Phaedra was to this setup and was blaming really Portia the whole time.
Right. Portia was the front man for most of it. And now it's time to take off the mask, the Portia mask. And
The
it's
chickens
Phaedra
are coming
underneath.
home to roost.
The lies. There you
The
go.
lies,
This
the
bitch, I'm
lies.
telling you, trifling.
That's what I'm talking about, Portia. You keep saying, why I think she pulled your strings? Why would she tell you like that so you can run it back to me like that?
Yeah.
You and I
then she
never had a
you
problem.
take the fall.
We
She let
never
you take the
had
fall for
a
shit.
problem,
You are
Portia.
such a
Ever.
disloyal friend. I'm telling you.
Ever. And you was gonna believe her when she called you right before you and I were gonna have an argument? Are you kidding me? Say that about somebody if you didn't tell me that.
Don't cry.
So Portia is breaking down. This is like her realization that she's been played, that there was a lie planted in her brain that Kandi would have actually tried to drug her, and everyone is like, that's fucking terrible. And Phaedra like doesn't really look, she looks like in damage control mode.
You know what's kind of interesting? You know how like we have a lot of reunion performances that get like medicated allegations? Has anyone ever given that to Phaedra here? 'Cause like she really is composed.
She's
through,
composed.
like a very intense, like she gets eaten alive, number one. Like clearly your time here is done by the end of this. Like because literally she has no defense and nobody's on her side, not even Portia by the end of it. And like the entire time she's got her smoky eye and she degaff. She's like,
Don't you feel like, I don't know, the vibe that I get is that she's just very comfortable with lying. And she's not someone who really likes
no
to own up
Xanax
to her
needed.
shit.
She's just stone
No
cold.
Xanax needed. But I will say, I was thinking about this the whole time for Ultimate Girls Trip 2 at the Berkshires. They brought up her getting fired. She refused to talk about it. She's like, I don't want to go there. Like, I'm not going to go. Like, she's never addressed this and said, that was wrong. I fucked up. Like, she,
Well,
to
right.
me,
And she like it's not like she doesn't. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it's not like she doesn't apologize here. Like she does say, but it's just like very
because she's on the spot,
Is it impassioned or does that still mean that you like?
dispassionate.
Yeah, like she's like it's lacking something. Like she's like, yeah, sorry, like I made a bad call.
Yeah.
My
She was
bad.
like, that bad judgment. I heard it. I
Right.
repeated it. Probably shouldn't have done that. Meanwhile, like, Kandi is sobbing, probably like, like Candy's, I mean, I don't blame her. Like, Kandi is, I mean, Kandi says, like, people were in her comment section saying, like, Kandi, aka Bill Cosby, like, this kind of, like, was a whole thing,
Right.
which
She
rightfully
says,
so.
like, do you guys realize, like, she like spells it out of like, if you are saying that I'm drugging someone and taking them somewhere, implying for sex to our sex dungeon, like implying that I'm like, you're accusing me of rape, like you're accusing me of being a rapist, basically me and my husband of being a rapist. And like, yeah, ultimately they are. And like, when you break it down like that, then like what could be something else that would warrant such a reaction? Like this is one of the worst things you could say about somebody. And I think not even like in a defending them way, like obviously like this is just wrong, like this is just not something that you should have perpetuated, especially with the element of it being on live TV. Like that adds a whole other thing to it. But like, I think that Portia and Phaedra just didn't think that part of it through. I think to them, it was just another, like, housewife, like, rumor, like, you do this to me. Like, Portia's like, you talk about me in blocks, so I bring this up. And for Phaedra, like, Kandi and Mama Joyce have been in her business for seasons now. Like, Kandi's family has been on Phaedra's ass for a while now. So, like, it wouldn't have been out of bounds for Phaedra to have a season going after Kandi, but just they picked the wrong like, wait, they picked the wrong rumor. Like, you needed to pick something more lighthearted or like not this subject matter. Like, this is again is like
No,
the
this is
one thing that you
crazy.
cannot do.
And Phaedra, Andy asks her, like, it seems like you were vindictive in bringing this up, you know, and you admit that it was bad judgment, just a rumor, whatever. And Andy's like, were you just really mad at her for the way your friendship ended? She's like, no, I really wasn't mad at her. Phaedra, because you just fed Portia a rumor about Kandi wanting to rape her. And
Right. It's the same thing as the employee. Like, girl, just say a little part of you is happy to be grinding her gears a little bit. Like, you're clearly, these things are moves. Like, and you know,
it's so obvious. That's what my point is. Like, Phaedra, I'm like, you're not slick when it comes to the on the spot. Okay, I need to like defend my actions. It's very clear you are, like, you look psychopathic. And there is a really funny moment from Sheree, which is such a small side moment
I know, but
in all
I
of
was
this
just gonna say
turmoil,
it
but
too.
it's good.
Oh my God! I can't get away from y'all.
Wait.
Cause really, I'm trying to get away from y'all. See, this is the type of I be talking about. This is what I be talking about. See,
I know.
So, like, yes, Candy's, like, obviously, rightfully, like, really upset, but Sheree, like, out of nowhere bursts into tears and goes, oh my God!
Candy's like bust down wig, like flowing in her angry wind, like as she gets up. Portia's beautiful pixie cut, like as she vehemently sobs, and Sheree, the only one to not have her tits out at this reunion. Oh my God! Like, she was devastated. Like, Sheree, not even really involved, but she's devastated. She's like, the bonds that I carried have led us to places I couldn't even imagine, to places I wouldn't even go with a gun. Like, this is so horrible. Like, I did not want this, y'all. I thought we were having light lesbian allegations, not dark lesbian allegations. Like, this sucks. No!
Fuck! Shit!
No!
Andy, I'm so fuck. Ugh, this is not what I had on my fucking agenda for the evening.
And they start to kind of go down this, like, there's like this repeated question that like people start to ask Phaedra, like, why do this? Like, did you really for a second think that this is something that like had any legs to it? Like, why would you not in your mind think this isn't something that Kandi and Todd would do? Like, so you should have just never like given it life. Like, because obviously this is so far fetched. Like, why bring this up? And like Portia asks her, like, when like they kind of like take a break, because as we saw, Kandi like very much storms off for a second. So they take a little break, and Portia and Phaedra are like behind the scenes talking one-on-one, and Portia's like, why do this to me? And Phaedra's like, well, I would have been a bad friend if I didn't tell you like what I had heard, quote unquote. And Portia's like, so you really genuinely thought that there was a chance that they did this to me? And Phaedra is basically like, she doesn't really say yes, but she's basically saying like, yeah, I don't know. And like, honestly, like, okay, if you were worried about being a bad friend, quote unquote, then that doesn't explain why you said you heard it from Kandi directly. You could have just said, I heard this it could not be true. I heard this on the streets. Like, granted, you still would have gotten skewered alive in terms of the housewives world, because you're still repeating a harmful thing on camera. Doesn't really matter. But telling Portia that it came from Kandi directly becomes the crux of the issue, because that piece of it is what makes Portia believe in it. And and obviously, like, why would if my best friend tells me that they heard something directly from the source and I trust them as I must if they're my best friend, why would you not believe that? Like,
well, she wouldn't have run with it if Phaedra just said, someone told me randomly once that Kandi said this, because it would have sounded. But I think also the big point is that Kandi and Todd are like, y'all have been around us, y'all have seen us, y'all hung around us. Like, you really think we would do that? And Portia, I think, feels dumb in this moment for thinking they would do that. And again, like, to your point, the only reason that even had anything like teeth was because Phaedra had framed it as, Kandi told me this straight up, like she was gonna do this to you, but she wouldn't have thought that because Kandi and Todd don't have that vibe at all. Like I said, Kandi was fucking sober in the club. Like if she was really this perverted psychopath as a sober woman without any intoxicants, like it would be
Not very
much more
common for
obvious.
sober women to be perverted psychopaths. Like that's not usually the demographic that
You don't really
that creates those issues to be
You don't
so
really see-
real. Like let's go out. Let's start with another group. Like we can leave.
Which
we
group?
Can leave them. How about like the alcoholic evil men? Like let's start with Jax Taylor before we get to Kandi Burruss. Like
No,
Christ.
literally.
But, you know, Portia, when she's asking Phaedra this, like, you know, still on camera, but behind the scenes, like not even in front of everyone, Phaedra's basically like, maybe you heard me wrong. Maybe you just
Like you
we
have
are
to
way
be
too far in this to go with maybe you heard me wrong. And like this is when like not when because you could already see this happening, but this for me is like, oh, Phaedra's lost. Like there's nothing.
She's done.
She's
done.
got nothing. She clearly isn't even like computing arguments because like what is maybe you heard me wrong? Like
Well, Portia's like, don't make me pull out my text messages right now because you're gonna look stupid. But like you said this. Like she's like, there's no
times.
doubt in my head, and it's written down that you said this. So like, if we want to go there, we can. But like, Phaedra, be real. And at no point does she say. She does say at one point. She says this. Well, if she says I said it, then you know I believe her. But she doesn't say I said it. And yes, I was trying to be vindictive and it was a horrible thing to do. She says, well, if my friend says that I did it, I believe her. It's like, so you did, but you refuse to
also
like
very
actually.
Lisa Rinna. That's like a very Rinna-esque type
Yeah.
thing to say.
But I feel like it's a lot more believable when Rinna is like, oh, I guess I did say it. Like, she's like, what?
Right. She has a little more goofiness to it that adds a
Phaedra,
levity that's needed, where Phaedra's smoky-eyed, dead personality for this whole reunion does not help her out. I mean, she looks good. Again, they all look nice during this terrible time for them. And another part that's kind of gaggy is like, you know, they get to the next part of it all, and one of the women or Andy or viewer or whoever is like, so did Phaedra tell you that Todd goes by Marvin and is sleeping around with women like in New York, whatever the rumor was? Portia just kind of like turns and looks at Phaedra and is like, tell them, Phaedra. And Phaedra goes, yes, I did. Oh no.
And Candy's like, and you know, it's funny because like Todd has not been to New York without me in like several years. So I didn't even believe that for a second. Like, he hates going to New York. His mom just died and she lived in New York. It's like tragic for him to go back. And y'all are over here acting like he's prowling the streets as Marvin. Like, come on. And Phaedra's over here just like, she's over here like dead faced, like
it's just another nail in the coffin of like, it's all coming from Phaedra. Like another one of the rumors that Portia hurled at Kandi comes straight from Phaedra. Like, it's just so bad. And, you know, as we said, Phaedra apologizes. She basically is like, it was all bad judgment. Like, she says, sorry, Portia, my bad judgment for telling you. Sorry, Kandi, bad judgment from me too. Like, and that's, you know, it's not very emotional. It's pretty bare minimum. And Portia also apologizes. You can sort of tell that Portia is getting like a different sentence than Phaedra because, like, you know, now it's kind of been uncovered that Phaedra was the liar, and Portia's kind of taken the defense of, I wouldn't have done this if I hadn't thought that it came directly from you, Kandi, which is directly on Phaedra for lying. So some of the onus gets taken off of Phaedra's shoulders, which some people, Kenya and Bravo fans, said this is like calculated or whatnot. I personally don't think it is. I don't think that Portia is locked in enough to come up with that type of scheme. I think, you know, yeah, is some of this probably theatrics because she realized she had a little bit of an out, like to get herself out of the difficulty, yeah, probably, as we like people, regular humans do. But I don't think there was this whole big plan on Portia's part. I think
No, I agree.
I
I
don't
don't
see
think
that.
I think that she feels very stupid. I think that she's realizing that the accusation she thought was the smoking gun, like, wow, Kandi, I can't believe you would even try and come after me when you've done something so horrible. Then she realizes, wow, I literally waged a war against this woman for no reason, and now I look dumb. And also, like, it was fully just premised on a lie from the only person on this cast who I've been close to. I think she might have been, yeah, like you said, playing up the theatrics, but I do think that she ultimately did not know this was a lie, and I think that she did trust Phaedra, and I just, Kenya just doesn't like Portia, and obviously, Portia isn't perfect, but I just don't think that Portia had enough, by far. I just don't think that she had enough animus towards Kandi to make this up on her own or to be part of this scheme.
Agreed.
But Phaedra did. Phaedra 100% did. So, they're
Well,
all
it's kind of
bringing up.
funny too, because like Phaedra's like buried in the ground at this point. Like Portia's abandoned her. Like no one is on her side. Her defenses are terrible. Like clearly she's wrong. Like Kandi even has a moment backstage where she kind of says something along the lines of, she goes, "What do you guys think about this?" And the women are like, "This is awful." And she kind of like, Andy's in the room. She goes, "No, and what do you think about this?" And I'm like, ooh, that was coded as, so you're
Fire her.
firing her, right?
Like, how
you're
do you let
firing
this
her
happen?
now, right? Like,
Yeah.
so like, Phaedra's cooked, she's done, but yet we still move on to like a little bit more,
Right.
push it a little bit further. And Andy's like, let's talk about this employee lawsuit of this guy. And like, it's just funny to me because like, they hash out what you can imagine. It's rude for you to help out. Obviously, it's not great to be helping someone sue your friend or your castmate.
And
or whatever
now
you wanna
anything
say.
that Phaedra says in her defense just falls so flat because it's already been outed that she went so low in this regard. So it's like, well, now we don't believe anything you say, and this isn't even as crazy as what you just were outed as
It's
doing.
so funny.
Like,
Y'all should have talked about this before you landed.
I was gonna say, this
the
is such a
plane.
strange, this is such a strange pacing and a strange structure. Like, why are we now talking about less crazy things when everyone wants Phaedra dead? Like,
But it's kind of funny because one thing I want to mention is Portia is scooting further and further away from Phaedra while they talk about this. She's so far from Phaedra. Like Phaedra's like as close as possible to Andy, like on the edge of the couch, and Portia's all the way to Sheree on the other end. And it's like, like she's not even, it's not enough that she already made it clear she's not on her team anymore. Like she's like, like I don't even want to be in the frame of her defending herself. Like get me out of it. And yeah, I mean that's how we end. Andy tries to be like, let's cheers, ladies, but like that's obviously not going to happen. So like they kind of just leave it with like where are things, are we going to be able to move forward? And Portia's like, I don't really think so. Like, I don't know if me and Phaedra are going to be able to move past this. And Kandi obviously says they will not be able to move past it. And she just says she's feeling super vindicated because, like, she's been saying that Phaedra's been sus and, like, that she lies and pulls strings and manipulates. So, yeah, big flop for Miss Phaedra. This was not a good one.
Phaedra, what a stupid move to tell somebody a chain of events and get them to be put in the line of fire, and you never thought that at any point someone was simply going to ask the question that we've all been thinking since day one, which was, who told you that? Or like, where did you hear that?
Right.
Like, that's your puppet mastering, is you just simply told Portia. You didn't even say, hey, Portia, like, don't say that I told you this because me and Kandi, it's gonna be bad, whatever. You just like kind of just thought that it would never come out.
Right.
Which is
It's one of
crazy.
those housewife plots. It's like, it's obviously like bad, like morally bad, like, boo, like we don't like that you lied about this. Like, okay, whatever, tuck that away. But like, it's annoying in the sense of like, why do all this and not execute it well? Like,
Right.
why not like have some of this like planned out a few steps ahead so that you don't get caught in I repeated it so I heard it. Like that's not
And that's
girl, come on.
that's
We made
the
it all the way
best.
here and that's what you have to say about it?
You didn't like prepare for the reunion thinking, okay, like if this comes out, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that. I heard it. Meanwhile, Portia's ready to pull out text messages. Phaedra, I'm sorry, Shantae away. Or Sashay away.
Wait. Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah, we have the same
Yeah.
thought process.
Yeah.
But I will just say, closing thoughts on this, like I said earlier, she's never copped to this. And I think it is almost like I am enjoying her on Atlanta, but when you do go back and watch this, it is kind of crazy that they were just like, yeah, we can bring her back. Like enough time has passed.
I mean, like it has been a while, but like it's like does
But she's
time
never-
make this less bad? Like
She's never actually acknowledged. She doesn't even talk about it. Like she won't go even into the topic, let alone say I'm sorry. Like it was a bad thing that I did. So like that's what's crazy to me is like she's never even been like,
I know
yeah,
it is
that
funny how
happened.
there's like a statute of limitations on cancellations for people if they're entertaining enough, like if they're funny
Yeah.
enough, or like if they're needed enough, like by a network or like by a show. Because even like the other day, this is like not really related, but I was at a movie theater. They're one of those like cinephile ones, like the Alamo, whatever. And they had an ad with Aziz Ansari in it. And I was like, oh, I haven't seen him in a while. Like, wasn't he like canceled? Like, that's why he hasn't been around. And it's just like, I think they just kind of were like, yeah, it's probably been enough time. Like, people probably forgot what happened. Like, let's just throw him back out there and like see if we can just plug him back in. And like, Bravo kind of did the same thing with Phaedra.
Yeah.
They like soft launched her on Married to Medicine first to like test the waters, and then they were like, she's back.
They're like, I get okay. Well, we're not getting any comments about this, so
Which I'm fine with. Like, I understand like the outrage about it, and like that there are certain like, you know, Bravo's like stances on like what is fireable and what is punishable are flimsy at best, like varying from person to person. So like I understand that like, you know, it's like Kenya's not allowed back, but like we can do this kind of stuff.
Kenya
like,
will probably be offered back in another season, or you know what I mean?
right. They
Like,
have to let things marinate. But I don't know. I'm not really that mad about it because I don't think the intent was like, I think again it wasn't like Phaedra went into it being like, I'm gonna make Kandi look like a rapist. I think in her mind it was like more housewife play of like, I'm just gonna throw another rumor at her and like I'm gonna get her back for getting me back. And it just like went over the head of like how serious this specific arc was. And like, yeah, maybe that's a little bit of an excuse. Maybe I'm just saying that because I enjoy them. I don't know, but that's how I feel. It's like they just made the wrong call. I feel like whatever.
she tried to produce a storyline of television. It got out of hand, and she did pay the price. I mean, she was off TV for a long time. So, you know, I think that I am always of the mindset that people can change and shouldn't be, you know, defined by their worst moments. Would I like for her to at least just be like, yeah, it wasn't my shining moment. I definitely like made some bad judgment calls and I'm sorry that I hurt anyone, for sure. But you know what? Honestly, like no one really thinks about this when they watch Atlanta anymore, and you know, she's in a different place. So you know, but that is how she got fired, everyone. That is how she got fired. And I will say, of all of the reasons to get fired, this is kind of like the reason to get fired. So
like, yeah, girl, like where did you think this was going?
Right. Like, come on.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like she genuinely like didn't think it out. Like, I think she thought we all just kind of go at each other with rumors. I'm just gonna pick one up and see what happens. And like then was like, oh, like wait, oh sorry, this. Oh, I said
yikes.
that this. I implied rape. Like,
oh shit, I didn't do.
I
the
repeated
2
it,
+
so
2
I heard
=
it.
4.
Like, let's just move on. Like,
yeah, guys, someone else said it about her, not me. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to the completion of season 9 of Atlanta. We got a very exciting Stassi Schroeder birthday special next week. We'll be posting our schedule with which exact episodes that episode will be talking about. And then the week after that, we will be doing Bethany and Ramona feud. So stay tuned. Check our socials. Again, you can follow us. Mention It All Again Pod, Instagram and YouTube, and MIAA Pod on TikTok. And we'll put all the links in our show notes. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you like this episode, guys, if you like listening to us, please leave us a review. It really means a lot. It helps us a lot. 5 stars, and say something nice. You can call us sexy. You could say we're mid looking. But as long as you say that our podcast is amazing, then you can say whatever else you want about us. But yeah, please leave us a review. Love you guys. Subscribe, like, all the fucking things. DM us if you have any ideas for our show, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.